Joe Concha and Brianna Lyman, correspondent for The Federalist. Joe, if we're honest, right, which we always are here, obviously.
Of course.
If we're honest, we have to talk about the fact that, like, Trump and Musk have not exactly always been simpatico on every policy issue.
Sure. And that's to be expected when you're dealing with so many cuts in so many different aspects. I think that it was interesting that Elon Musk did go to CBS in the Sunday morning show to publicly air his laundry on this one. He clearly is in the camp of Ron Johnson, Republican, Wisconsin in the Senate, Thomas Massie, Republican, Kentucky in the House. Donald Trump is living more in the real world, though, where he's talking about wins in terms of getting this across the finish line, because that would otherwise mean a $25,000 tax increase for many Americans in this country. And he realizes he has to get the votes, and votes means compromise. It means negotiation. It's nice to say we have to have all these cuts. But in the end, when you only have a 3-vote margin in the Senate and like a 1-vote margin in the House, compromises will have to be made. Not everybody's going to get what they want here.
You know, I was going to say, it's interesting. We talk about votes, but we have to remember the votes that will be coming in 2026. And, you know, Joe makes a wonderful point. But at the end of the day, there is a large portion of America that hears what Elon Musk says and says he risked his reputation, his company, even his life to try and, uncover all of this wasteful spending. And Congress has not yet codified it, and they have been in office for a while. This isn't a Trump problem. This is a Congress being derelict in their duty. And there's a risk that Republicans in 2026 will say, why am I going to go out and elect a Republican when they get to Congress and they don't act like one?
Well, so to be fair, take a listen to Ron DeSantis, and I'm going to get your response to that.
Doge and Elon were on a collision course with the swamp. I don't think there's any question that Doge fought the swamp, and so far the swamp has won. And that's just unfortunate. We have a Republican Congress, and to this day, we're in the end of May, past Memorial Day, and not 1 cent in Doge cuts have been implemented by the Congress.
Okay, so Joe, is it the swamp that is impeding Doge, or is it long codified law? I mean, you got lawmakers both sides of the aisle over decades coming together to protect some of these government agencies. You can't really blame that on, like, swampy personality.
Sure, yeah. I think it's a combination of both. I think in the end, we have seen from Republicans and Democrats over the years, whether we're talking about George W. Bush or Barack Obama, Donald Trump in his first term, Joe Biden, every time we hear, we're going to cut waste and fraud and spending. Barack Obama really was public about that. And all we see is our deficit continuing to go up. What is it now? $37 trillion. So when push comes to shove, there's a lot of talking, but in the end, it's all foam and no beer as far as doing the actual hard part of governing, which is cutting some things that may make you unpopular in your district.
And once something is in, very hard to get anything changed. Brianna, President Trump is saying, well, to Republicans, let's not make the perfect the enemy of the good here, right? Democrats want like a 65% spending increase or something like that. We're kind of fortunate that we're even getting anything here.
Of course. And again, with that, I would contest, though, that this is a rare opportunity. There is not going to be in the near future a president like Donald Trump who is this committed to dismantling not only administrative state, but reducing the scope of the federal government. And there are a lot of people who wonder, are Republicans squandering this opportunity? And I fear that they're going to learn the lesson Democrats learned in '94, where they overpromised and underdelivered on fiscal responsibility. In comes Newt Gingrich with this compact with America, and they promised fiscal responsibility. Voters responded in kind and elected Republicans in a sweep. They might say this go around, if these cuts don't materialize, I'm not turning out on a Tuesday morning for these people. What have they done for us?
Gingrich had a bigger majority, though. It was easier to get that through.
Yeah,
Here,
we have these like 1-vote
with.
thresholds are pretty dicey to work with. Brianna and Joe, thanks so much for joining me.
Great to see
both of you.
We'll stop raining, Jillian, please.
I'll see what I can do for you. No
thank you.
promises. Okay. We got to call Janice.